Welcome back to Vital Signs. Before the break, we were talking about getting to know ourselves, getting reconnected with who we are, our passion, our purpose, so that we could actually reconnect and stop sort of numbing out and disconnecting from the world, whether it's scrolling social media, watching television, doing all the things that we do to kind of get by. We talked about really getting curious about what that is that we want to be doing and reconnecting with that. And we talked about moving our body. We're here with expert in resilience and lifestyle recovery coach, Jen Henry. Jen, I want to continue this conversation and dive right back in because you and I are both very, very passionate about boundaries. And we're passionate about learning how to say no to things that don't serve us so that we can say yes to the things that are going to actually move us forward and get us connected to who we are and moving in a positive trajectory. So with everything that you've learned and all the things that you've done with your coaching clients, how are you able to, or how can our viewers and listeners begin to set those boundaries, learn how to utilize their no so they can say yes to them?
No is a complete sentence. And I know that we share that a lot. I mean, you pretty much said it. In order for us to be able to say no, we have to recognize why we're saying no, or the guilt is debilitating, especially for recovering codependents, right? When I talk about lifestyle recovery, I'm not talking about just the recovery part. I'm talking about the lifestyle. Who are we showing up as in our life? And are we showing up for ourselves in the way that we need to so that we can better serve others, so we can be there more for the people that we love and care about? And I often ask my clients, are you actually doing the best you can for your loved ones if you're denying them the full, complete version of yourself? And, when you think about it, it really comes down to perspective. And, you can say no without feeling guilty. But in order to do that, you have to come from a connected, authentic place where you've been honest to yourself first about what it is that you need and want, or don't need or don't want in your life, so that then you can come from a place of being fully supported, fully purpose, complete, excuse me, just from a full place, right? From your cup being full. And, I'm at a loss of words because this is a topic that, is so difficult for a lot of people, those of us that are in the service industry, those of us that are in the industries of caring for others, whether it's caretakers, nurses, mental health practitioners. We tend to give of ourselves until we have nothing left. And in order to be able to recognize that, we have to be connected, as we talked about before, but we have to be consciously connected to what it is, who our being is showing up as, right? Who is our being? And is it coming from a place of fear? Are our actions coming from a place of fear or out of a place of love? And if we want to be able to serve fully and completely, we have to be taking care of ourselves. We need to be rested. We need to be drinking our water. We need to be moving our body. And from that place, we feel complete and are then able to stand up and take up the space that we're supposed to.
And I really want to highlight that because on this show we've talked a lot about the importance of getting good sleep, of hydrating, of good nutrition, of moving our body. So like having a basic physical level of health in order to then look at our mental resilience and our mental health. Because if we're not eating properly, if we're not resting properly, that impacts our mood, it impacts our focus, it impacts the way that we show up. And so I really love that you've kind of wrapped it all up in a bow with we have to take care of ourselves first. Whether we're a caregiver or not is irrelevant. If our cup is overfilling because we are actually taking care of ourselves in all the ways, the self-care, physical, mental, social, emotional, all of the areas of health that we have, then if our cup is overflowing, then we never end up empty ourselves. And so we're always giving our best self. And what I'm really feeling from this conversation, Jen, is I'm feeling like we can be fully present when we have a full cup, but when we don't, when we're saying yes to all the other things and we are now pouring from an empty cup, what we're not doing is giving people the gift of our presence and our focus and our attention or our best self. And so I would like to elaborate a little bit on how can we start that process, because a lot of times, especially women, especially parents, like we might be a mom, I'm a grandmother. So, like we have a lot of these roles and we always feel pressured to take care of everyone else. It's just a societally conditioned thing for us. What is that first step that our viewers and listeners can take? What's the first step to saying no to something so they can fill their cup to overflowing?
I would say get honest. I think so often we've convinced ourselves that what everybody else needs is what we should be uh, following through with or doing or showing up for. But the truth is when you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, listen to that. Where is that coming from? Because it's not coming from a place of you don't love them. It's not coming, and the guilt that comes behind that, right? It's not coming from a place of, God, I wish they would just stop. Maybe you do wish they would stop asking this certain thing, but why? What are you actually looking for? And so that's where getting curious and getting honest with yourself. If we have to get honest with ourselves first, so then we can find the foundation to get honest with others and to be able to stand up for ourselves and to recognize that we are capable of holding space for ourselves, that this is our space. We're allowed to take up space. We're allowed to exist and to have wants and needs. And to think anything else is it makes no sense once you get to the place of what do I need and getting familiar and honest with yourself about that. So I would say honesty, get honest,
I love it.
even
And
if it's
sometimes,
scary.
sometimes that's where a coach comes in, right? Because we're not always able to completely objectively look at ourselves. And maybe we think we're being honest ourselves, but we're not really looking in that deep, dark corner over there. And so that's where coaching comes in. And you yourself are a coach. I'm a coach as well in a different capacity. But how important for those who know all the things, they can pick up your book. We're going to actually show you how to get Jen's book very, very soon. But they can pick up your book and they can read it, but the magic happens when you take action and you actually do the things that are hard. And what I've found throughout several years of coaching is most people struggle to set that first boundary. And that's where coaching really can come in and help. Can you kind of share a little bit about what is it like to work with a coach in this area, and what are some things that can open up once you do have that support in your corner?
Well, one of my clients, it was our first session. She had just invested in a VIP, in a one-on-one, VIP coaching with me for 6 months. And I think one of my proudest moments was the question I asked her. Her answer was, I can't believe that 100%, if we stopped coaching right now at this minute, it would have been worth the investment for the next 6 months. Because when I asked her, she had these feelings coming up about something. And I asked her, according to who? And her mind was blown. And for those of you who have been coached or have been in coaching for a while, you would understand that question. But for those of you that don't, it's really about what questions are we asking ourselves? And when we do have a messed up perspective around some stuff, right? And we've been rationalizing certain behaviors for years. I think it does take someone from the outside to come in and ask you those questions that you haven't really been paying any attention to. And that's, I think, our job as a coach is to, because we're not the boss of you. We don't know what you exactly need in your life. We have some ideas, right? We have some maybe guesses, but the truth is that we are not the experts in your life. You are. And our job is to ask the right questions so that you can come up with your own right answers to become the expert in your own life, where you have a leg to stand on, where you know who you are, you know what you want, are setting goals. And when I talk about setting boundaries, really, none of the boundaries of other people matter until you start setting those boundaries with yourself. And being able to recognize what is it that I need no matter what are my non-negotiables. And so as a coach, I'm so grateful to be able to help my clients identify what their non-negotiables are, which may differ from mine, which may differ from any other clients, but that's neither here nor there. What matters is it's right for them. And I think sometimes we just need someone to ask us the right question.
I love it, and you're absolutely right. Like, coaching is about asking the questions and getting to the crux of it. And I really love that we are the expert of us. We are the expert of our own lives, and it's time for us to be accountable to it. And I think that's the other amazing thing for coaches. Like, coaches will ask the right questions. You will decide that this is what I want, and then that coach holds you accountable to that because you said you wanted it. You are the boss of your life, and we're the kick in the pants when it's a little bit hard to actually take those actions. So Jen, we are getting kind of towards the end of the segment, and I'd like for you to share your book, because one of the things that I really find important on this show is that we take action. We can talk about this all day long, but unless people who are watching and listening take an action, and move forward, they stay the same. And so I would like to hear, how can we get your book? Because I know it's action packed and has action steps that people can start to set those boundaries, that they can develop that resilience, they can move forward. How can they reach you and get a copy?
Absolutely. My website directly is unleashingresilience.com. And when you check out our website, you're going to be able to find where you can get us at Barnes and Noble. You can get us at Amazon, of course. You can get us anywhere books are sold online. You can also go to my website if you'd like to schedule a call with me or figure out a little bit about what I do. You can go to lifestylerecoverysolutions.com as well. Those are both of my websites, but you can go ahead and find my book on the Unleashing Resilience website. There's also, we're going to be running the next free 28-day book challenge where we read along together. We share insights and ahas from moments we've taken from the book. And the amount of transformations I've been able to be witness to just as the result of this book, right? Not everyone can afford a $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a year coach, but everyone can afford a 99-cent Kindle. And being able to create this so that you could go in and take the exact steps of the freedom framework that I've designed over the last 14 years that have helped my clients literally change their life, change how they're showing up, change who they believe themselves to be, change how they identify, take action and accountability in their own lives has been so humbling. And I am so grateful. There are freebies available on the site. The book challenge is free. There is a bunch of ways to work with me because I want to be able to support as many of you out there as humanly possible. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to do so and hold that
Thank,
space.
thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your gems of wisdom. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening to this, if you are watching this, pick up that book. It is filled with actionable items. Like Jen said, a 99-cent Kindle is very, very simple to get, and take the actions. It's not enough to just read it, take the actions. Thank you so much for your expertise, Jen. We do have to take a brief break, but we will be right back after these messages.